Welcome to our lecture online. Here we have addition of fractions of the third type. The third type means that the common denominator now will become the product of all the denominators. That is the case where the smaller denominators do not fit evenly into the larger denominators. They tend to be rather small, and they tend to be such that either they're all prime numbers or they're small numbers, so that there's no way that the smaller one can fit evenly into the larger one, even though the larger one is not a prime number. 3 is the wrong denominator, does not fit evenly into 8. So the only way to find a common denominator is simply to multiply the denominators together, which means we're going to rewrite all of the fractions with a new denominator. So here, when we multiply 3 times 5, we get 15. That means both fractions will have a new denominator of 15. The question is, what do we need to do in order to turn the numerator in the correct number so that the fraction hasn't really changed? So both fractions will now have the new denominator 15, which is the product of the 3 and 5. But now the question is, what will the numerators become? How do we find the proper numerator? So what we do is, we write the old numerator on there, like this. And then we kind of do a similar thing like we did before. We ask ourselves the question, how many times does 3 fit into 15? And the answer is 5, which meant that we multiply 3 by 5 to get the new denominator, which means we must multiply the numerator by the same number. 2 must then also be multiplied times 5. Again, 3 goes into 15 5 times, which means we multiply 3 by 5 to get 15, which means we must multiply the numerator by 5 as well. Same here, 5 goes into 15 3 times, which meant we multiply the denominator by 3 to get 15, which means we must multiply the numerator by 3 as well. And that's the trick. That's how we do that. Now that we have a common denominator, we simplify. So this becomes 2 times 5 is 10 over 15, plus 1 times 3 is 3 over 15, which gives us 13 over 15. Since 13 is a prime number, we cannot reduce that fraction, and that's the final answer. I guess we need to do that a few more times so that the method sinks in. All right, here again, we have two denominators. They're both prime numbers, so there's even no choice there. We must multiply the two to get the common denominator. So the common denominators will be 77. So we're going to change the two fractions so they have, each of them has the same common denominator of 77. So we ask ourselves the question, 7 goes into 77 how many times? 11 times. That means we multiply 7 by 11 to get 77, which means we must multiply the numerator by that as well. So 2 times 11 gives us the same result. This will be the same as this. Here we put the 5 down. It's probably better if we put the 5 down first. But again, we ask ourselves the question, 11 goes into 77 how many times? The answer is 7. So that means we multiply 11 by 7 to get 77, which means we must multiply the numerator by 7 as well. If you take a look at it, notice when there's two fractions, the number here that we're multiplying the numerator with is the denominator of the other fraction. Here, the number we multiply the numerator with happens to be the denominator of the other fraction. Notice the same principle holds true over here. So you can kind of see that pattern and go, okay, that's the number we have to multiply by with. But at least it's important that you understand why we can do that. So now we have the common denominators. We clean up the numerators. So 2 times 11 is 22 over 77, plus 5 times 7 is 35 over 77, which means when we now add those numerators together, because we have a common denominator, which is 77, 22 plus 35 is 57. And that would then be the final answer of that summation. Even if the number is not a prime number, the pattern is exactly the same. We're going to multiply the two denominators together. And so the new denominators will be 3 times 8, which is 24. So both new denominators will be 24. Let's write down the numerators. And again, the pattern is that we multiply this numerator by the denominator of the other fraction. Or you can ask yourself the question, 3 goes into 24 how many times? Which is 8. And since we multiplied the denominator by 8 to get 24, we must multiply the numerator by 8 to get 24. Or you can simply say Since there's only two fractions, I know that the numerator will be multiplied by the denominator of the other fraction, so I know that here I'm going to multiply the 5 by 3, which is the denominator of the other fraction. Again, you can say 8 goes in 24 3 times, so I must multiply 8 times 3 to get 24. I must multiply 5 times 3 in the numerator. And then I can simplify this, so this becomes 16 over 24 plus 15 over 24, which is 31 over 24, and that's the final reduced form. What happens when we have three fractions? Well, it's the exact same principle. The common denominator is going to be the product of the three, especially if all three denominators are prime numbers. So we're going to end up with three fractions. The denominator will be 2 times 3, which is 6, 6 times 7, which is 42. So all the denominators will become 42. But here you cannot use the principle that you're going to multiply each numerator by the denominator of one of the other fractions. That doesn't work anymore. Now they have three fractions. What you could say is that the number you're going to multiply with is the product of the other two denominators. So in this case, the other two denominators, 3 times 7 is 21, so you're going to multiply this times 21. Or you can say 2 goes into 42 how many times? 21 times, so you're going to multiply the numerator by 21. Here, 3 goes into 42 how many times? The answer is 14, so you're going to multiply the numerator by 14. And here, 7 goes into 42 6 times, so you're going to multiply the numerator by 6. So that works as well. And then you can simplify those fractions. 1 times 21 is 21 over 42, plus 28 over 42, plus 30 over 42. And now you can add all the numerators together because all the denominators are common. So 28 plus 30 is 58, 59, 79 divided by 42. And I believe 79 is a prime number, so we cannot reduce it any further. And here we do the same thing again. The common denominator will be the product of the three fractions. So 5 times, or the three denominators. 5 times 4 is 20, times 3 is 60. So the common denominator of all three will be 60. 5 goes into 60 12 times. So let me first write all the numerators, 3 and 1, like that. So here you can say that 5 goes into 60 12 times. So I'm going to multiply the numerator by 12. 4 goes into 60 15 times, so I'm going to multiply the numerator by 15. And 3 goes into 60 20 times, so I'm going to multiply the numerator by 20. That's probably the easiest way to do that. Then you simplify those fractions. That becomes 24 over 60 plus 45 over 60 plus 20 over 60. When you add these together, 45 plus 20 is 65, 85, 89 over 60. And it looks like 89 is a prime number, so that's probably the final result, the most reduced form of that answer. So I would say if there's two fractions, you can multiply the numerator of the one fraction by the denominator of the other after you find the common denominator, so that works for two fractions. If you have three fractions, probably the best thing to do is to say, how many times does this denominator go into this denominator? 21 times. Multiply the numerator by 21. 3 goes into 42 14 times, so multiply the numerator by 14. 7 goes into 42 6 times, so multiply the numerator by 6. And that's probably the best thing to do when you have more than two fractions that you're trying to add. The denominators are not the same. They are such that the other 2 or 3 or whatever number of denominators you have do not evenly fit into the largest one, and then you simply multiply them together if there's no good way to find another lowest common denominator. And that's the way it is done.